Hi students, this is Mrs. Whitaker. I'm doing a video for tonight on the decimals with the 4 operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. I'm going to start with the adding and subtracting. The main things you know about adding, subtracting with decimals is that first you need to make sure that your decimals are in line vertically. Second, you bring your decimal down for your answer. Okay, so let's look at number 6. I think I did like 1 through 5 in most of my classes. So let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, I see the number 65, which does not have a decimal. If it doesn't have the decimal, then the decimal is assumed to be in the back because it's a whole number. So I'd write down 65, put that decimal in the back. I immediately make another decimal right below it because they must be in a vertical line. And then put my other number that I'm adding together with 65, which would be 56.8, which I already have my decimal there because it's in line with the decimal above. We are adding our decimals, and so our decimal continues to come in a line straight down into my answer. Now I have a space right here, an empty space. So what goes right here is a 0 for a placeholder. We just put a 0 there to hold its place. Now I add just like normal. 8 or 0 plus 8 is 8. 5 plus 6 is 11. Regroup your 1 just like normal. And 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 5 is 12. So it's 121.8 or 121 and 8 tenths. That would be the answer for number 6. Let's take a look at number 7. Number 7, same thing. Number 7, we start with the whole number, 58. So we write 58, put that decimal. I know I'm going to be putting another decimal right below it to keep it in line. I'm even going to go ahead and put my decimal for my answer in line. So I have 58, and I'm subtracting from 58 45 and 183 thousandths. Now I have 3 spaces or blank spaces above, so I can put 3 placeholders. I'm subtracting my numbers. Now I have a problem. A lot of kids like to go down the highway the wrong way, which would be they would say 3 take away 0 is 3. That is incorrect. We cannot do that when we subtract. You have to go from the top number straight down to the bottom number. So I cannot do 0 take away 3. So if I have to borrow, I look next door, can't borrow from here. Look next door, I can't borrow from here, but I can borrow from here. I only borrow 1, even though I need 3 numbers. I borrow 1, I get 7. The 1 goes there, then I borrow from here, that becomes 9. The 1 goes here, I borrow from here, that becomes 9. And then I end up with 10 at the very end. So 10 take away 3 is 7, 9 take away 8 is 1, 9 take away 1 is 8, 7 take away 5 is 2, and 5 take away 4 is 1. So my answer is 12 and 817 thousandths. Now one way you can check your work, which I always tell students to do this on test or FSA, definitely if you have time, is to add or do the inverse of the operation you were doing and see if you get the answer on the top. So that's one way to check your answer. Number 8 is 79.3. I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal down below, make my equal line, and do my decimal for my answer. Let me erase these. And now I work it out. Oh, oops, sorry, I got to put my other number there. So it'll be 10 decimal 21. I need to put a placeholder up here. And I am adding my numbers together. I go back and double check. Yes, I'm adding. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 3 plus 2 is 5, 9 plus 0 is 9, and 7 plus 1 is 8. So it's 89.51. And you can always kind of do some estimation to check your work where you can say, okay, this is about 80, this is about 10, I'm adding them together. 80 plus 10 is 90, and 89.51 is almost 90. So that's a good kind of check right there, is to estimate. Let's go ahead and look at some multiplication. So on the back side, we did some multiplication, and in most of my classes, we talked about moving that decimal. When you multiply, you have to move the decimals out, and then you have to move them back in on the answer. So if I'm looking at, let's go to number 10 here. Actually, I think I did 10. I'll do 10. Look at number 10. I had taught my class and to make like another problem, kind of like a decimal problem. So I move up my decimal one place here, one place here, so for a total of 2. When I get my answer, I'll move my decimal back in 2 places. So it's kind of like 801 times 28. I actually sometimes even have students that will rewrite the problem out like this. And then they'll remember to put their decimal back in twice. So they might say 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 0, 0, 8 times 8, 64. Do my second number, cross that out, put my placeholder. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 0, 0, and 2 times 8, 16. Add your two answers together. I get 8, 2, 4. That's 12. Regroup 2. And then I bring my decimal back in 2 places. 1, 2. So that would be my answer. 224.28. If I look at number 11, same thing. Take my decimal out first. 1, 1 for a total of 2 places. I'm bringing my decimal back in. So now when I work it out, I might look like 59 times 39. So I'll work that out, and I might want to put 2 here to remember to bring my decimal back in 2 places. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 8 is 53. Put your placeholder, cross that off, cross that out. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Add your answers. 1, 10, 13, and 2. But I got to bring my decimal back in 2 places. So my answer would be 23 and 1/100ths. So let's do one more. Let's do a bigger problem. Let's do one with 3 numbers on the bottom, like number 7. If I take my decimal out here, 2, 2 for a total of 4. Now I work it out. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 2 we have 50. Now I cross those off, cross off my 8, and now I'm going to do 0 for my placeholder. Now I have to do 0 times everything. 0 times 4, 0, 0 times 1, 0, 0 times 3, 0, and 0 times 6, 0. Now I do my next number, which would be 2. Cross that off. So I have to do 2 placeholders. So 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 6 is 12. Add my numbers together. Let's do this color. And I get 2, 1, 13, 3, 11, 3, and 1. And I bring my decimal back in 4 places. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And there goes my decimal. And there's my answer. So that is the multiplication. Now division. Division is very similar. I think in 5th grade you didn't have the division on the outside. So we'll do, let's take a look at number 2. Let's look at number, I like number 6. Let's look at number 6. I'm going to rewrite that though up here. It is 8.4. Oops, let me do a darker color. We'll do 8.4. Again, I'm doing number 6. And it's dividing into 711 and 9/10. So when you do division with decimals, you have to have your divisor, that number on the outside, has to be a whole number when you go to divide. So I have to move my decimal. So to make 84 a whole number, I have to move my decimal one place. So now I'm going to have 84. But if I move it one place on the outside, I have to do the same thing with my dividend, the number on the inside, and have to move it one place. So it's going to be 7119, and my decimal is here. Now, it's kind of like if I had a whole number, like maybe I saw in 5th grade. Now I bring my decimal straight up, and it goes right there in my answer. Now I divide as normal. 84 cannot go into 7. It cannot go into 71. But how many times does it go into 711? Let's try 84 times 8. Let's see what happens with this. 8 times 4 is 32. That's 64 plus 3 is 67. That looks right. So we'll do 8 times. 84 times 8 we know is 672. Subtract the borrow. 11 take away 2 is 9. The borrow again. 10 take away 7 is 3. At this point, I have this 9 right here that I need to bring down. So I'm going to bring down that 9. And now how many times does 84 go into 399? So let's see. Let's do 84 times 4. 84 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. That's 32 plus 1 is 33. So we would get 4 times 336. Subtract, you get 3 and 6. So at this point, you can add your 0 and try again. Or you can just keep it as a fraction. You could say 84 and make a remainder as your numerator. And you could do 84 and 63 over 84 because 84 is a whole number, or you can keep adding zeros and keep going. So this is how you do the division with decimals. Tonight's homework is a mix of numbers. And so you're going to have to add, you're going to have to subtract with decimals, multiply and divide. Let me try one more. Let's do another example. Let's do from your homework, or on the division answer side, I guess let's look at number 3. Number 3 is decimal 50. Again, I'm on the division side, not your homework yet. I said I was not going to do any from the homework because we had lots of practice questions that we could pull from. So I have 50, decimal 50. I need to make this a whole number by moving the decimal over 2 places. The inside does not have a decimal, so I put 1 in, and I have to move it 2 places. So when I rewrite it, it's going to look like 50 into 867,500 decimal. Now I can bring my decimal up and work out my problem. 50 goes into 86 one time with a remainder of 36. Bring down your 7. 50 goes into 367 7 times. A remainder of 17. Bring down your 5. 50 goes in 175 3 times for 150. Bring down your 0. 250 goes into 255 times. You get exactly 250 with 0, but you can't stop there because you have an extra 0 that you must bring down. And keep going. 50 goes into 0 how many times? It goes exactly 0 times. And 50 times 0 is 0, so when you subtract, you have nothing left over. So this would be your final answer, 17,350. I hope this video helps you. Oops, sorry. guess you guys had a hard time seeing that. But I was saying it out loud, so hopefully you heard me. But good luck on your homework tonight. I want all 12 of them done, and I want you to show your work. If you don't show your work, you don't get credit. Have a good night. Thank you. See you tomorrow.